So I think this is the most anticipated four-wheel drive of 2025 that I've been personally looking forward to. This is the Everest Tremor. So what exactly makes the Everest Tremor stand out from the other variants that are already in the Everest lineup? And why would you opt for this over some of the more premium versions like the Platinum? Or why wouldn't you buy a Sport and do it up yourself? Well, the Tremor is focused purely for off-road enthusiasts that want to get out there and who want to not necessarily go and run to the stores and spend a lot of money on suspension and tires. This is already done from the factory. So the new Everest Tremor comes in 4 new colors, which is Shadow Black, Meteor Grey, Arctic White, and this new color here, which is Command Grey. I think it looks pretty damn good. The new Everest Tremor comes with the 3-litre V6 with the 10-speed. It's got a 3,500 kilo towing capacity. Coming down here to the tires, we're running a 265/70 R17 General Grabber AT on this variant. We do have Bilstein shocks, which are position sensitive in the Everest Tremor as well. And the Everest Tremor does have a wider stance than your standard Ford Everest. So we do have 30mm wider track through the wheel offset here. And you can see they've got these wider flared guards to cover up those tires here in the front and the rear. With the Bilstein shocks, we also have a lift kit as well. So the lift is 29mm higher over the standard Everest. So on the front of the Tremor, you do have these LED lights, similar to what come out in the Wildtrak X. So they'll come on with the high beam function. You do have an optional pack on this Tremor, which is the rough terrain pack, and that's $3,500. So what you get with that is this bull bar here on the front. This was designed in conjunction with ARB. So those guys, you know that Ford and ARB have been working together on many of the Ranger and the Everest products together. And that gives you the bar, the under vehicle armor, and it also gives you an auxiliary switch panel, which is inside the roof, similar to where the Raptor and the other optional packs are positioned. And I was discussing with the guys here from Ford, and this bar here is winch compatible. You do have the option to put a winch inside this bar. There is a plate that is mounted into the chassis, just under there. So you can actually fit a winch in the front of this bar here. And that rough terrain pack does come with the bash plates underneath the Everest here as well. So this bar here is actually a composite or a plastic style bumper. I'll have to get the technical term for it, but it's not metal. But it does have this structural section through here for the winch to fit into. And you do have a camera and stuff up here on the front, which has been really handy over the past few days of driving a few tracks. But the reason why it does protrude out off the Everest is to fit that winch in there if you want to do that. Many manufacturers do have their own sort of bar work packs or towing packs or touring packs and things like that. So you can either go with this option here, which will come directly from the factory from Ford, or you can just opt for the ARB accessories later. If you wanted a different bar, you don't have to have this bar. It can come with just a standard front bumper if that's what you want to option. You can also get a touring pack. So on the touring pack, that's $2,500. Get a 360 degree camera, tow bar, integrated trailer brake controller, and pro trailer backup assist. Now, some of the aesthetic sort of things that I like about the Everest Tremor would have to be some of the badging and just little bits and pieces here and there, which I'm going to walk around the vehicle and show you now. So up the front, you do have a black Ford badge instead of a blue one. So we've got the black oval on the Everest Tremor. Coming around the side, down here on the door, we do have that Tremor badge, which looks pretty bloody awesome. coming around the back, and like the flares and stuff are all black and different bits and pieces. It's all black through here, through the Everest. You got the black Ford badge here on the back of the Everest as well, and then you've got your Tremor badge just there on the rear. I like that a lot of it's color coded too. So you've got the color coded wing here up on the back of the window, and then you've got these black accents down the side, but everything just ties in together. They've just gone for black, the orange badging, and the color of the vehicle, and I think it just looks really clean and really tidy. Down on the side here you do have these pretty big side steps, so they're very similar to Raptor style side steps where they kind of sit right out, but they are actually like a composite, similar to what the bull bar is made out of, some sort of plastic, but they're pretty bloody tough. Another thing, thank God Ford didn't put the 2-litre in this thing, otherwise it would have been very disappointing, but they haven't. They have put the 3-litre V6, which is bloody awesome. It's going to be great for off-road, great for towing, and yeah, just an all-round bigger power plant is what we want. We want more power, we want to tow more, and we just want to be able to put our foot down and get the job done. So being the V6 diesel, yes, unfortunately it does have AdBlue, but that's kind of just the way it is. So coming into the interior, I'm going to show you some key features that the Everest Tremor have. So with that optional pack I spoke about earlier with the bull bar, you do get these switches just here. So they are a little bit different from the Raptor ones or the other optional packs that you can get in Ranger. And these are for obviously all your accessories that you can add to the vehicle. So you might be wondering why 1 and 2 don't light up. If it's similar to like my Raptor, basically 1 and 2 come on with the high beam. So let's test that function out. I'll just press 1 and 2 and there you go. So whatever accessories you wanted to hook up to high beam, they'll come on when you turn on your high beam. And then 3, 4, 5 are basically when you press them, they'll come on. So you can also get the premium Tremor seat pack, which is $1,100. So that gives you 10-way power adjustable driver's seat with memory function, 8-way power adjustable front passenger seat, heated and ventilated driver and front passenger seats, which I think is absolutely awesome, and definitely an option I would be going for, to get those ventilated seats here in Australia for summer. Definitely a must. But Ford has snuck it back in again. We have an AC 230 volt 400 watt inverter in the back of the Everest Tremor. How good is that? So a couple of specs here for you. The approach angle here on the Everest Tremor is 32 degrees and the departure angle is 26.8 degrees. Your ramp over angle is 23.9 degrees. Ground clearance on the Everest Tremor in its current configuration is 255 millimeters. Maximum wading depth, so how deep can you go in water? 800 mil. Righto, we're in the Everest Tremor, just making our way down a dirt track, just hopped in it. Instantly being off-road, I can tell that the suspension is way softer than the Tremor Ranger and any of the other Everest in the lineup. And it does have the Bilstein's position sensitive shocks in this thing as well. And just in the matter of a couple hundred meters, I can tell that it's very, very comfortable off-road. Oh, we're in a deep hole now.
Just a little bit of left hand down.
Last thing I want to do is shit whip this thing into the side of the wall. Brand new car.
I'll wait for someone else to do it first.
She's a bit skinny. It's either pinstripes or rip the guard off. There we go.
So as you go through this ditch here, it's got a scrape
Yep.
in the mud guard, so be it. And then just stay right out to the right, and then U-turn, and then just come back up to here.
Right. So be it. Wallaby. Okay, first drive here in the Everest Tremor on road today, and its composure on road is pretty good. I'm kind of getting Gen 1 Raptor vibes. How smooth the Fox suspension is in the Gen 1 Raptor. Next Gen Raptor is a little bit more firmer, but these position sensitive Bilsteins in this thing are very nice, both off-road and on-road. These country roads, a few potholes here and there, but it's very plush, very smooth, and compared to some of the other Everests that are in the lineup, this by far is the smoothest that is on offer. Ford always picks the good roads on these events. We've got some nice windy Vic country roads here. But definitely a big tick for me is the fact that Ford has put the V6 in this variant and given us that bigger power plant with the 10-speed rather than the bi-turbo option. So good job Ford on that decision. And this now being a full-time trim level in the Everest lineup, it's not going to be like the Ranger variant of Tremor where it's a limited run. This will be a continued on trim level up there with Platinum. So you've got Platinum on one side, which is your more premium sort of level, not going to be doing too much off-road, although it's still incredibly capable to do that, but someone that might be picking that option for a bit more on-road, where the Tremor variant is dedicated for going off-road, and someone's a bit more outdoorsy and wants all those bonuses that you get with this variant over, say, the Platinum. But again, you could buy the sport variant of this thing and kit it up yourself, but after driving this and the experience that I have with many different off-the-shelf aftermarket suspension suppliers, the composure of this thing on and off-road, my initial impressions, it's going to be hard to beat something in the aftermarket industry on how good Ford has actually got these Bilsteins tuned in this thing. So, and to be frank, I wouldn't be upgrading this at all with the suspension that's already in it. You've already got that lift of 29 mil, so you do already have a lift kit in this thing. You do already have the 265 tires, so there's a lot of bonuses there of just buying this over doing a sport up yourself. You can just take this straight from the dealership and take it straight onto the tracks and yeah, have a great time. The suspension, undulations, hitting potholes, things like that, sort of those rough sort of fire trails, the suspension was very composed. Unlike the Ranger Tremor, I found it to be a lot firmer. This thing, super plush. Back when I did the initial Everest review, I liked how classy the Platinum was. But now with them having the Platinum and then having the Everest Tremor, so you can go either direction now. If you want that premium luxury feel, go the Platinum. If you want to be able to go off-road and do all those sorts of things, now you've got the Tremor option, which is basically the two top tier trim levels now for Everest, off-road or premium on-road. So would I go a sport and do it myself, or would I buy an Everest Tremor? I think I would go Everest Tremor. Just for the fact that I haven't got to run out and spend more money. Everything is factory backed. The suspension tune is pretty amazing. I do a lot of off-road. I have multiple vehicles. I have a lot of experience with suspension, and this thing, they have done a very, very nice job on making this thing not only plush off-road, but also smooth through flexing transitions, things like that. Different tracks that we went on yesterday, it just wasn't those harsh bangs and jolts that you normally experience in a four-wheel drive when you're going off-road. It would soak that stuff up because of the position-sensitive dampers on the Bilsteins. It would soak that stuff up similar to Raptor to just be able to take those impacts, where I think the tune on the Ranger Tremor was a lot firmer again, but you've got payload to take into consideration with the Ranger Tremor and things like that. So this is definitely a nice factory suspension that you don't have to go and upgrade later. Just my personal opinion, I think these wheels are going to be quite hot on the second-hand market because I think they look absolutely awesome. So if you end up getting an Everest Tremor and you decide to put a different set of wheels on it, I think these are going to be very, very sought after there on the old marketplace. So drop it down in the comments. What would you pick out of the Everest lineup? Would you get a different variant like the Sport and then build it up yourself? Drop it down in the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, share this with a friend that's considering an Everest or one of the other Ford vehicles. So we're about to go out again today. Going to go four-wheel driving up. We've got some tracks up the back up here that we're going to go and check out today. So really enjoyed the last few days in this vehicle, and I'll see you guys in the next video.